I got coffee. I got questions. Let's get into it. And God loves you, baby. Don't forget about that. It's good coffee. Both a Christian and anime question. How do you manage to separate both in your life where you are putting God first? Okay. So I think what you're asking is, how do I put God first while still loving anime? And I think that's because you can love other things as long as you're not putting them ahead of God. At least for me, this is just a Christian standpoint. I know everybody that's watching this video might not be a Christian, but for me, God is at the center of my life. At least I try to keep God at the center of my life. You know, I can enjoy anime, I can enjoy some hip hop music. I only listen to clean versions. I don't listen to explicit versions anymore. I can enjoy hip hop, but as long as I'm not idolizing those things, then I think it's all good. You know what I'm saying? I still love God. God is at the forefront of my life. And if God ever puts it in my spirit or convicts me to give up anime or anything else, then it will be given up, because God is first in my life. He's number one. So I hope that answers that question. But you can enjoy anime and still love Jesus. I firmly believe in that. Yes. Bussin'. How did you get the courage to start your YouTube career? Okay, actually, this is a little bit of a loaded question, because honestly, YouTube was like the last platform that I really started uploading on, which I'm so upset at myself for that, because now YouTube is like my favorite platform, arguably. But TikTok was my start because of the pandemic. I was bored, decided that I wanted to do something to keep myself entertained, and people just so happened to start loving it. And then I kind of transitioned over to Instagram because a brand told me that they didn't want to work with me because I only had 1 million followers on TikTok and no followers on any other social platform. So I was like, what? That's still 1 million though. You still don't want to work with me? And they was like, nah, bruh, you gotta have reach in different areas. So I was like, okay. Then I went over to Instagram, and within like 3 months, thank God, I was able to get like 100K followers, which was awesome, just by re-uploading some of my old TikToks onto Instagram. And then I made the transition over to YouTube because I had a lot of content creator friends that were telling me, yo, you need to get on YouTube Shorts. You have all this short form content. Go over to YouTube. And I was like, okay. And it was one of the greatest decisions I ever made. Now we have 1 million subs on YouTube. See the plaque? See the silver one over there, the gold one over there. Anyway, yeah. But that's basically how my that's how my YouTube career if I can get it out. That's how my YouTube career started. But if you're also wondering like how my content career started or how I had the courage to do that, honestly, just who cares what people think? As long as you're not hurting anybody or tearing a group of people down in any way, shape, or form, create what you want. Some people are going to love it. Some people are going to hate it, but you're not trying to reach the people that hate it. You're trying to reach the people that love it and are like-minded and want to involve themselves in what you got going on and what you love. So you'll find your core group of people that really rock with you and just go with that. Who cares about the rest? I hope that answers that question. You know, my mug says, a man's heart plans his course, but the Lord determines his steps. It's Proverbs 16 verse 9. W verse. Any skits that you disagree with now? Not necessarily any skits that I disagree with that I've made in the past, but if I could go back in time and talk to my past self, I would be like, yo, you do not have to curse in your skits like that. If you go back 2 years ago, I used to be cursing up a storm in my skits. I don't know why, because I don't even talk like that in my day-to-day conversations, but I was cursing a lot just because I thought it was funny. And yeah, if I can go back, I'd be like, Tracy, bro, chill. You don't have to do that. You're funny-ish, kind of. You're a little bit funny. You're not that funny, but you got something, and you don't need to curse. Okay, stop it. Who's your favorite Dragon Ball character? Vegeta. Big Vegeta. Big hairline. That's my boy. There is no character in Dragon Ball Z better than Vegeta. I'm sorry if I'm coughing sometimes, guys. I had COVID like 3 weeks ago. I know, who gets COVID in 2025? But the lingering cough just won't go away. Low-key struggling with multiple temptations that offer short-term gratification but will screw me over in the long run. Do you have any advice for me? Also, love your videos and skits. Thank you. From one brother to another. Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for the love. And as far as you struggling with temptations that offer short-term gratification, all temptations and all sins offer short-term gratification. That's just the way it is. You won't find a sin that's going to please you in the long run or make you feel fulfilled. But the only way to find fulfillment, since you're asking a Christian-based question, is through Jesus and through Jesus alone. There's actually a verse about that. I can't remember the exact verse off the top of the dome, but it says something along the lines of, if you drink this water, then you will thirst again. But if you drink the water that comes from me, then you will never know thirst ever again. And that was Jesus talking to a woman at the well. And I think what we can take from that is that if we involve ourselves in things of this world and look for gratification in those things and look for a good feeling, we'll find it. But it'll be very short-lived. But if we search for it in Jesus Christ, then it'll go on forever. And so the best advice that I can give for you is, if you are struggling with temptations, because I struggle with temptations too, I have in the past, it happens, wake up in the morning and let the first thing that you do have something to do with God, something to do with Jesus, whether it's a quick little 30-second prayer as soon as you open your eyes, before you even get up to go to the bathroom, put God first. If you can make 5 to 10 minutes in your morning, go in your Bible. Just 5 to 10 minutes. A lot of people think that when they study the Bible, they need to go in for like 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. That's a real Bible study. Like, yeah, it's great to go in deep like that. But sometimes life makes you feel like you don't have time for that, but you do have 5 minutes. You do have 10 minutes. I'm trying not to cough again. Oh my God. Ugh. You do have 5 minutes. You do have 10 minutes. I do it all the time. I spend like 10 to 15 minutes in my Bible in the morning, and then I get going before I go to the gym and stuff. And it sets the tone for the rest of my day, and it puts God on my mind first and not sins and other temptations. So I hope that helps. What's one lesson you learned from an anime show like Naruto, JJK, etc.? So I will say, this is an easy question for me. Naruto taught me the most important life lesson any show ever could, and that was to not give up on yourself, but also to not give up on other people. Yeah, I'm gonna give those 2 lessons right there. Don't give up on yourself, and don't give up on other people. Don't give up on yourself even when the rest of the world has given up on you or looks at you and is like, no, you're not going to be anything. Screw that, because you know what's inside of you, and that's all that matters. And Naruto is literally the embodiment of that. Homie became the Hokage when he was looked at like trash as a kid, all the way up until he was like 12, 13. People didn't actually start recognizing homeboy until he was like 16, 17, when he did something that served everybody else. But he wasn't doing it like that. He was doing that because that's who he was. He was just like that, for a lack of better words. Nobody made him like that. That's who he was, and he stuck to his guns, even though he could have chosen a very, very dark path. Now, as far as not giving up on anybody else, Naruto never gave up on Sasuke, even though the rest of the world gave up on Sasuke. It's good, and this can even be like turned into a Christian point of view. I actually saw one of my fellow content creators talking about this on a podcast they were doing, but Naruto not judging and not giving up on Sasuke is exactly what we need to do in this world, with our family members, with our friends, and even with people that aren't close to us. It's not to say like go and try to save everybody like how Naruto tried to save Sasuke, but you don't have to be so quick to judge just because somebody is doing something wrong. You don't know what they're going through, or maybe you do know what they're going through and you just don't care, but maybe you should care. Maybe you should have compassion for that and say, you know what? I know you're going through this, but I know you can be better. And Naruto taught me that lesson hardcore. I love Naruto. Oh my gosh. It's I'm gonna rewatch it actually. I've watched Naruto 4 times. I'm gonna watch it for a 5th. I'm doing it. Drop a like and comment right now too. Do it. Yeah, mid video. Did you like it? Okay, cool. Let's keep going. What is the best place to watch anime shows and movies? If we're talking anime, I'm going to say, you got Crunchyroll, you got Netflix, you got Hulu. I'm a firm believer in not I can't English. I'm a firm believer in not using pirated websites. I know some of y'all might say that's lame, and some of y'all are like, oh, I don't want to give money to corporations, yada, yada, yada. And you're entitled to your opinion, that's on you. But for me, I have a deep respect for people that put in a lot of hard work to create these things. I do think they deserve to get paid for that if we're consuming it. And I know that the creators and anybody that has their hands in it gets paid even a little bit off of our subscriptions, off of us paying for these services to watch what they created. And so I rather go that route. I don't do the whole pirated website thing. If you do, hey, do your thing. I ain't judging you. But yeah, I'm gonna say Crunchyroll, Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Prime, High Dive, like all those things. What ethnicity are you? Albanian. Yeah. I'm Albanian. You know, a lot of people don't. I'm not Albanian. Let me stop. I'm black, man. I'm black. I with a splash of cream. You know what I'm saying? My mom is mixed. She's half and half, like coffee creamer, and my dad is just black. So I guess you could say I'm black and white. But when I scribble in that paper, I just put African American because that's what I am. So yeah, I get this question a lot. I don't do. Is it not obvious? I don't know. Anyway, go ahead. Moving on. How old are you? Okay, simple question. How old do y'all think I am? Now for the people that know how old I am, don't. But how old do y'all think I am? Seriously, because I've been getting a lot of comments lately, which makes me want to fight, but it is what it is. How old do y'all think I am? I'm gonna let y'all figure that out. Although, if you do a little bit of a deep dive and you look for a birthday post, you'll find how old I am. But how old do you think I am? Christian question: when and how did you start your journey to be a Christian? Honestly, I know a lot of people have like this darkness to light story, and they might have some elaborate tale on how they had this coming to Jesus moment. I didn't have one of those, man. I grew up in the church. I've always been interested, and this is not to say I'm some child of light. It ain't like that. You know what I mean? But I've always been interested in building a relationship with God, with Jesus. I just have, since I was little. My mom will even vouch for me on it. Like even when I was like 7, 8 years old, whenever my mom was sick, I would come in the room and like pray for her and stuff because I just really believed in this, from since I was a youngin', and I don't really know how that happened, to be honest. But yeah, like I made the decision to get baptized when I was 9, which I think I need to redo it because I'm older now, and I don't know how that works. I've been thinking about getting baptized again, although I've been on this path since I was little. But I actually made that decision when I was 9. Like I asked my mom, can I get baptized? And she was like, yeah, sure. And then I went and got baptized when I was like 9 years old. I think my mom still has the certificate for it, actually. But yeah, I will say that I started to develop a more mature relationship with God when I was like 14 and 15, when I was heavily involved in the church and involved in ministry. I was a part of like the dance ministry team at my church. I don't know if y'all know what like mime dancing is, but like you paint your face white and then you kind of reenact the song but with like dance moves. It's like interpretive dancing basically, but yeah, when I was doing that's probably the time where I felt my relationship with God grew the most. I think I still feel that way, actually, because I really, really learned a lot about myself and who He is in my life and how dominant God is in my life. And yeah, so I don't really have like a coming to Jesus moment necessarily. It's just, I don't know. I've always had a heart for Christ, I guess. Again, I'm not trying to say I'm some child of light. Not like that. I ain't the chosen one or nothing like that. But I don't know. I've always just had a heart for it. So, yeah. Will you be covering more video games? Okay, guys, y'all be honest with me. All right, because when I do upload video game content, it's very up in the air. Like when I did Black Myth Wukong, it did very, very well. When I did a little bit of Sparking Zero, it did moderately well. But anything outside of that, not doing too well. You know what I'm saying? So do y'all want more video game content from me? Y'all let me know. I actually need to know. No, I need some confirmation. I need clarity from you guys in the comment section. Do y'all want more video game content? And if so, what kind of games do you want to see me posting about? Or what kind of gameplays do you want to see me doing on this YouTube channel? I'm probably not going to do scary games like that, though, just to be honest with you guys. I tend to stay away from those. Maybe I'll do some in the future. Maybe. But y'all let me know. I mean, the Demon Slayer game just came out. I'm gonna play that today, not even gonna lie. Follow me on Twitch, by the way. Yeah, I live stream 4 to 5 days a week. I'll probably do some live streams on YouTube here and there, but Twitch is the main one. The link will be in the description. Moving on. My question is, have you ever watched and enjoyed the Eminence Shadow? I feel like this person knows me. I don't recognize the username, but I feel like this person knows where I stand on that show. I'm gonna leave that question unanswered. Yeah, I'm gonna drink to that coffee. Yeah. How can I recover from being called a sellout? Somebody's calling you a sellout? Oh, okay. Look, I don't like the term sellout. All right, to a degree. Like, don't get me wrong. If you stand firmly on something and then you switch up for a bag, then yeah, you can kind of be a sellout. But at the same time, bro, if you trying to get your paper up, I don't know why I said that. That was crazy. If you're trying to better your future and somebody offers you a huge check and you're like, I can use that, you know? I feel like as long as it doesn't go against your core values and beliefs, do it. Do it. I would, you know? If a company that I've never worked with, you know, like let's say like a soda company or something like that was like, hey, we'll give you a $500,000 check to promote our product for the next year. You think I'm not finna do that? Bro, what? I'll be drinking cherry Pepsi all year, in moderation, of course, because too much of anything is a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm a water and coffee drinker for the most part. But you know, if they, what? Yeah. And what? You know, like, are you mad because you didn't get offered the check? You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about that. If they calling you a sellout, just be like, bro, look, I did this for myself and my family. Leave me alone. You know, don't be mad at me because I'm out here getting my money up and not my funny up. You feel what I'm saying? Anyway, yeah, move on. Favorite non-main character or side protagonist from your favorite anime or cartoon? Okay, I feel like you're just asking like my favorite side character. I'm actually not gonna give my favorite side character, but I'm gonna give one that I want to spread a lot of light to right now, and that's Boa Hancock, guys. I was talking about Boa Hancock during a live stream yesterday, bro. And like, first of all, there's one thing that I want to address too. Anime fans and like specifically my dudes out there, whenever we start talking about female anime characters, it don't always got to be on some goonery. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we're rating female anime characters, we're not talking about their physique or how they look or how attractive we deem them to be. We can just talk about how dope of a character they are, you know? Like we do the male characters, like we do Zoro, Luffy, Sanji, you know? We're not sitting here talking about how handsome Zoro is, S tier. No, we're like, oh, Zoro's an S tier because he's a dope character. Well, Boa Hancock is a S tier character because she's a dope character. She really is. She overcame slavery. She became one of the most powerful and respected pirates in the show. She had Blackbeard scared to kill her. She hates all men, which is crazy, but she loves Luffy, and Luffy is kind of able to flip her perspective a little bit, which I think is freaking awesome. I think that's freaking awesome. I just think that she has a lot of layers to her as a character, and I just think she's amazing. I think Boa Hancock is not talked about enough. She's dope. How did you meet your wife? I took her dance class, which sounds crazy. It sounds crazy because I love telling people I married my dance instructor. And then they're like, oh my God, did you get groomed? And I'm like, no, No, I didn't. She's 2 years older than me. When I took her class, I was 18 going on 19 years old, and she was 20 going on 21. So I was an adult when I took her dance class, but it was the first legitimate dance class I ever took. It was like a free dance day that a dance studio was offering. She was teaching it. I went and took it, not because she was teaching it, but because it was a hip hop class, and I always wanted to take a dance class. And then we just happened to meet each other there, and there was no spark at all. Not a single spark, no sparks flew, no butterflies, nothing. Just took her class. She picked me for groups at the end because I guess I was doing a good job. And we shook hands and went our separate ways. And then I ran into her at my college dormitory. Actually, not the dormitory. I ran into her next to the cafeteria on my college campus. And I was like, oh, shoot, you're my dance instructor. And she was like, oh, shoot, you're that student that was killing it in my class. I was like, oh, okay. And then we sat down and had an accidental 3-hour conversation. And I completely forgot that I was supposed to go and meet up with my friends because I was talking to her. And then we became friends and we fell in love. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how that happened. My coffee's gone, which means my time is up. Hey, thank you guys for watching this video. Do not forget to drop a like and comment on it and let me know if y'all want some more Q&A videos. I'm thinking about making this a weekly thing. And if I do, then I will make a little post on YouTube and ask y'all for any questions y'all have. But yeah, let me know any other type of content that y'all would like to see long form. I can definitely use some long form content recommendations. And I hope that y'all have a blessed day. Okay. Thank y'all for watching.